think that's enough light.
I think it's enough light. And do you want to just see if she'll be comfortable with it? Like how it would feel.
Oh, she'll be fine.
Okay.
Oh, let's move this back. So you can see when you sleep.
Perfect. Is that okay then? This technology. That looks a lot nicer.
Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment benevolent. Dharma friends sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Amoga Varochana Mahamudra Manipadme Jvala Pravartaya
Please stand for the chanting of the three refuges. The Sino-Korean words of this chant may be unfamiliar to you. They're from our tradition, the which comes from the mountain monasteries of South Korea. So throw your sound in with the sound. It's a quite a experience just to do that. Of permanency. Please repeat after me the English translation, one of them. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
And realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings.
I will penetrate the teachings
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
I go for refuge to the Sangha
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
And transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
So, for those of you who are new, we will have a short period of meditation, 5 minutes once again, and then a Dharma talk and some special offerings this morning. We have a song and I think a poem, as well as we already have a lot of apples and
Tomatillas.
Tomatillos.
what are they?
Tomatillos.
Tomatillos. Yeah. So please be seated for the second period of meditation. And if you're chilly, we do have some blankets. Perhaps
Some
that would
blankets.
be great. follow along with some simple stretching exercises with your full mindfulness and your breath, breathing in as your body opens, breathing out as your body closes. Starting first with just warming up the hands. And then especially around the perimeter of the face, pressing with the fingers. And bringing those fingers to the top, the skull, and using them to press. It affects the whole nervous system. And taking hold of the ears, pulling them down. And breathing. Putting the knuckle on the first finger just below your nose. Pressing. And remaining firm. Stretching the spine, chin back, eyes back. And then coming and lifting the head back, eyes back, and ears down. So that the upper body folding towards the lower. Inhaling up. And exhaling towards the left. And inhaling up. And exhaling toward the right. Listening to the cricket. Inhaling. Bringing the arms around flat, fingers waist, and come forward in that position. Breathing, and then inhaling up, and keeping the back straight as possible. Turn first to the left, hold the spine skin, and then slowly turn toward the right, holding the spine straight. Inhaling forward and placing the hands right down where the legs join the trunk. You do some circling. Deep. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And changing direction. And folding one arm under the opposite armpit, lower, stretching up and leaning directly sideways. Without a twist, just let the spine open on the upper side and then change. And let, again, the spine open on the upper side. The whole nervous system gets massaged. Hands behind the head, elbows wide, and then keeping the spine straight. Again, the whole nervous system gets massaged. And then stretch, pointing the fingers up, eyes up, breathe, lifting the shoulders, and Oh, very good. Now, could you please come a little closer? I'm pretty sure if you need to just lift it in.
So good morning, everyone. We're learning how to work with our indoor space. So excuse our awkwardness.
Mom is reading this week's reading from the Dhammapada, which is a book like a kind of Reader's Digest of the teachings of the Buddha. And this is a section called The Secret. So bring your hands palms on. Just compose yourself so that you can deeply receive these words.
You are the master. You are the refuge. As a merchant breaks in a fine horse, master yourself. How gladly you follow the words of the awakened. How quietly, how surely you approach the happy country, the heart of stillness. However young, the seeker who sets out upon the way shines bright over the world. Like the moon, come out from behind the clouds, shine.
Mom, I got the wrong folder for my talk. It's saying like this. No. I'll find it. Vivid orange sunrise from the east this morning, and a bright sun in the temple yard. Beautiful sunshine and shadows. Welcome in 10 directions, each and every one of you, and good morning.
Good morning, Hudson.
Anyway, you can know where to come down. Maybe I'll try to outlive. I know most of it. There's an old saying that to know the mountain path, you have to walk it. You have to walk it over and over again to really get to know it. So it is with our mind. Oh, those distractions. Oh, those thoughts. Over again and over again, working with them, you get to know them. You get to know yourself. And to think of it as like walking a mountain path. Let's see if she's coming in the door. And I might be able to, you got it, girl. Thanks for coming so promptly. Okay. Here it is. If you wish to know a path on the mountain, you should be the one who comes and goes on it. So in your journey, in your meditation practice, if you have your wisdom eye open, you can see yourself better. How did you get distracted? How is it that you go astray? How can you refocus and concentrate when you go wrong, like in discipline? So here's a story about a mountain path. Okay. This is from our Korean tradition, from our Korean monastic tradition, which we bring in part here to the US. So the master of a large public monastery passed away without leaving his Dharma heir. So right away, the whole community had the special services and burial rites. And then they were a little bit, what are we going to do now? So a group of senior monks got together to see if they could come up with who in this community of about 200 could be the next leader. And there were 3 nominations. One was the sutra, or the scripture master. And many said, oh yes, the scripture master, the sutra master has been here. He always does his teachings well and sincerely with wisdom. Another nomination was the meditation master. And many said, oh yes, the meditation master knows the mind. Certainly, that should be the Dharma heir. And the last nomination was the chief cook. And there was question. Could the chief cook really be the Dharma master? Some of you are going like this. You must think yes. So what they had to do was test all 3 of them. And so they I do not know how they tested the sutra master or the meditation master. The story is mainly about the cook, who had been a cook for 30 years. And so they created a small committee to see how to investigate him. And he spent from like 3 in the morning till about 8 or 9 at night in the kitchen, they found out. And it wasn't that he was working by himself, but he was working with very many people. And they found that the kitchen was like a social work job too. You know, just having to work with many people and to feed many people of all types. And so they thought, well, still though, you know, does he really have any spiritual practice? This is a sort of a shallow question on their part. So Wonder what he does the rest of the time, from 8 o'clock at night until 3 o'clock in the morning. So they had a few people just stay up at night to see what he would do. And what he did was he would walk along a mountain path, which would take some time, to pay his respects to the temple burial ground, where the masters and the monks and the neighboring nuns were all buried in small stupas. So there were small stone stupas everywhere. And not only did he walk the mountain path to do that in the dark with no flashlight, but he carried a basin of water, which was almost to the top. And he did it. He not only took it and made offering in the burial ground, but then he carried it back. And he put it in the soup pot for the morning meal. And they noticed that he did this in the dark every night. So they didn't know when he really got any sleep. So they was kind of touched about this guy, that he cooked all day, worked in the kitchen, and then he did this practice at night. Well, let's give him a harder test, someone said. Maybe we should really see what he's made of. And so they decided that they put some novice monks along the trail at night, and they asked them to make scary animal sounds as he was walking by, and to see really how good his concentration was, because carrying that basin of water back and forth was great concentration practice. It might not have been called formal meditation, but it really was a meditation practice, an everyday life meditation practice. So the night was set, the novices were stationed, and as usual, the master cook went along the mountain pathway, strewn with rocks and roots, but he knew it. And while he was doing that, all of a sudden, from the woods on either side came these animal sounds, like the tiger of the mountain, the wolf of the mountain, birds. And he heard them. He remained silent, and he didn't spill a drop. And he got to the ground and did his offerings there. And back again, more of that. And he got back, and as he was pouring the water in the soup pot, that was really scary. So it wasn't that he's just a hard-nosed, concentrator. He actually was very human. So they had a meeting, and I wonder what you think their decision was. Of course, I didn't tell you the story in detail because I don't know it about the other two. Yeah. Let me just see. So, this is my teacher's version of the story. And the thing is here, of course, being able to carry the big basin with both hands, drink full of water and back and forth, for hours is quite an achievement. But of course, he's been doing it quite a number of years. But that, the unintelligible, I was scared, that's human. So he was aware of the danger, not ignoring it, not ignoring the water too. So the samsara, the difficult situation, became nirvana. And so monks, they declared, we think he's okay. He understands the community, how people can get scared, and he's really concentrated and a great sort of bodhisattva in the kitchen. Yeah. So if you got it, got it. So here too are you. And you have your own version of that, what you do with your time. And so as you practice your meditation, you get to know you. Just like I said at the beginning, going on the path. Who is this guy, this girl, running my mind? Sometimes you think, where did all this come from? And you see how you react, how you get when you get distracted. Looking this way and that way. Yeah. But the inner journey is all here. It's never outside. There isn't a reflection of it outside. And when we do the work inside, then we can do the work outside. They inter-are in a certain sense. So we're in this practice of cultivating great awareness in order to awaken. And we might not think of it as awakening. I want to be enlightened. I want to awaken. Maybe for you it's called spiritual yearning. There's something in you that takes you in a direction where why did you turn up here today? In a certain sense. Yeah. In Buddhism, spiritual yearning is called bodhicitta. 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 Bodhi means awakening, and citta means mind. So it's about awakening our mind. Bodhicitta. The heartfelt yearning to free oneself from the pain of ignorance and habitual patterns. The pain when you don't see things really clearly. And then you get stuck in habitual patterns. And you want to, the yearning, the bodhicitta, is to help yourself and others. And learn that ultimately there's no difference. So that's on the mundane level, and we say the absolute level for bodhicitta is non-dual wisdom, the vast, unbiased essence of mind. So this is a little bit of foreshadowing. Maybe we could call it, in essence, our amazing grace. As Buddhists, we say we all have it. It's our inherent quality. Okay. So, traditionally, in Asia, there was a tradition that when young people got to a certain age, before they would go to school, before they would get married, before they would get a job, they would do a stint in the monastery. It was such an important custom in some Asian countries that mothers were said to not let their daughters get married to any guy who hadn't done a stint in the monastery. Because there was such an effect on a person who spent time in meditation practice, in living in community. It's actually quite challenging. Yeah. I found we do this here. And when we teach the meditation course, we say, this meditation course is going to be like your stint in the monastery. Because for that time, you have to put aside the rest of your life and have a good look. Yeah. In a different kind of way. It's, in this culture especially, people don't even career plan to be a monastic. or to take time in a monastery. There's so many other things. So that's why we invite people to consider the period of the meditation course, their stint in the monastery. And we also invite people to come and live here. This is a living place where people make up their home. Me for a few decades, Marlon for a decade and a half. Hyun, she's here for some months, and she doesn't know how much longer. But people come to really fulfill their spiritual yearning. Yeah. And my Dharma sister, Sujata, who, she and I were first ordained as Dharma teachers in Toronto, about 1986 or 7, talked about the community of people that we had then. And it was a really, I would say, a motley group. I considered myself motley at the time. And we had people from the US, this was in Canada, and from kind of all walks of life, and we were doing a huge job on this wreck of an old building to make it into a temple. And she wrote about it, and I wanted to share it with you. People grew beyond what they thought their strength was, beyond what they thought their capacity was. Our starry eyes saw in the gutted walls and piles of lumber the temple as it was going to be. And in some sense, I think we are in that position, those of us who are residents, depending on how much bodhicitta we can bring up, is that we really have deep, I don't know if you could say starry eyes, because sometimes it's blurry, tear-crying eyes, of waking up and then helping others that the whole world might benefit. So the temple has 3 basic functions. One is as like a temple which holds public services, which holds special services for the special days in our Buddhist calendar, like Buddha's enlightenment, Buddha's birthday, Buddha's parinirvana, and the special days of the masters in our tradition. We also hold wedding ceremonies, blessing services, funeral services. So we are like a regular church, maybe, and temple. Yeah. On top of that, this complex, our 4 buildings and our land serve as a monastery, where people can be trained to perhaps do this for a life, or take it into whatever life choice a person might make. So that we have retreats, we have study schedules, we have practice schedules. We really take care of the temple for the benefit of others. So that's a kind of monastery. That's what monasteries do, in a certain sense. Besides always trying to wake up. And then we are a Buddhist community center. People in Arbor look, oh, those are the Buddhists, they're over there. It's kind of a community center. And so in that respect, we've had yard sales, we've had hunger walks, we've had people in from all different religions to see what we're doing. Because these days, that's a kind of thing. At universities, if you take a world religion course, the thing is to go to another religion, lots of other ones, and see what's going on. I got the idea of all of us understanding each other better. So in that respect, we come to our special music offering today. Yeah. And I'd like to just acknowledge Marguerite, who's right here. I think this is now your 3rd time coming to the temple, Marguerite, and she's from Los Angeles. It just so happens this week that her mom is visiting her, Margaret, also from Los Angeles. So you see they're really bundled up because it's cold.
I'm cold. I've been
We
here
like
a
to
year,
really
so I just bundle up.
welcome them both. And when I talked with Marguerite last week, you know, I think I said, Suzanne, tell me about yourself. And one of the things she said, I'm a singer. And so I said, sing me a song. Just right then. It was in the backyard after the service. And so she began to sing Amazing Grace. And she said, I used to be in a soul choir, something like that. And this and that. And I thought, hey, how about singing for us next week? So she was pretty gutsy at it, turning out, okay. So I decided, Amazing Grace is actually a favorite song of mine. And so I did a little research on it. And it was composed by a man by the name of John Newton in 1772, and he lived in England. Maybe you already know all this. And John Newton led a really kind of challenging life. His mother died when he was 7. He ended up going on slave ships with his dad. And then he ended up actually being the master of a slave ship. And at one point, he was in a big shipwreck. And when in the course of the slave trade, and he almost didn't make it ashore alive. And then he became an abolitionist. He just thought what he was doing. He had a big change of heart. And he actually took up ministry and became an Anglican, Church of England priest. And in that capacity, he wrote a lot of hymns in collaboration with a musician who was very good. And Amazing Grace was one of them. It was based on his own kind of story. It says the song represents his own personal journey that saw him change his life for the better. From slave trader to abolitionist to Christian clergyman. It's a definitive song of the personal conversion experience. And I talked about grace in Buddhism because there is grace in Buddhism. And Buddhist understanding of grace arises from the unconditional compassion of the Buddha, which embraces without exception those from the most spiritually advanced to those desperately evil. So that's the compassionate grace of the Buddha. It includes everyone. It is unmerited favor. You don't have to do anything to get it. It's called sort of the natural bodhisattva. It's like grace. And then a Buddhist scholar, John Bloom, said, the mystery of grace. I like the mystery of grace because there's amazing grace. Will enable us to discover how we all can live together without destroying each other, which is really important today, and which is, here's the most popular hymn probably on the planet, and Marguerite's going to sing it for us. Marguerite.
Do you mind if I stay here?
No, would you like to have the sound system?
Oh, yeah, I'll go out.
Yeah, I think it's great. Mitt.
Oh, good, okay. So do you want to stand right there?
I will.
Right there, maybe?
Yeah.
Actually take off my buckled up situation here.
Raise it up.
I've done a lot of beautiful social work in California from what I've read from her website. And she's in the School of Social Work at U of M. Yes, they're just.
Hold on, I have to skip this up and it's all tangled up.
Okay.
So just see everyone. Hi.
It's a little bit higher. Good.
Okay.
So, anywhere?
I think right on your scarf there is good.
Okay. All right. Anywhere? Stand over here.
It's
Or is
good.
it the
Yeah,
top?
perfect.
Okay. And just keep this hard.
Yeah, because otherwise Haji can hold it.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you. It's Haji. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm really grateful to be here and have my mom here. I kind of came to Buddhism through, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Through my own journey with dealing with a mental health condition. And 8 years ago, I just started studying and learning more about meditation, mindfulness, peaceful living. I read a lot of teachers, more secular Buddhism, but Tara Brach, Jack Kornfield, other integrative teachers like Deepak Chopra. So I'm very grateful to have the temple here. All right, so I will start. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears they relieved. I once was lost, but now I see. Was blind, but now I said I was blind, but now I was blind, but now I see. God bless you all. Thank you. God bless you. And I just wanted to share one other piece said about religion and exploring other religions. I grew up in the Christian Anglican Episcopalian faith, and so growing up, we were never taught a religion or this is wrong or this is incorrect. And so I feel very grateful to be in communion with other faiths, and my mom has always been supportive of that. So blessings to you all. Thank you.
It's your sense of belonging in the way that what you say. What more did you say?
Oh, I didn't have one.
Oh, I thought you said that one.
I can do another one if you want. Okay. It's another spiritual song. Sparrow Mom. Okay, she's looking at me. All right, I'll do another song. It's called "His Eyes on the Sparrow." I'm not sure if anyone has seen the movie Sister Act 2. The musical artist Lauryn Hill, the black singer, she sings the song in the film. It's another gospel song. So I sang it at my grandmother, late grandmother. She passed away at 103 a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and I sang this at her funeral. May she rest in peace with the angels. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows go. Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I am free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches over me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know. I said I know, and I know he watches over me. Thank you. Needing some help here. Oh, I didn't sing into the mic, darn. I was singing here. I was like, wait, I didn't hear myself.
It didn't matter.
Thanks so much. Wow. That's our, with the four clause and then have announcements and we'll be. Let's together do the four great vows and then I think Magamuk has some announcements for us. Please repeat after me. I'll try to speak out loudly. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions.
One root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
Thank you so much.
You can move into the camera.
Right here.
No, no, no. Perfect.
Okay, I'm ready for my close-up. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
It is
Mama.
really good to see you guys here. We have a lot of new people here today, so if you have any questions, you can ask any of us wearing the gray after the service today, and we will try to answer your questions. And we also encourage you to pick up a copy of this flyer with our schedule on it. This is our calendar for events that are coming up here at the temple. So we have copies of this on the table in the entrance hall over there. And you can also sign up there on that table to receive our weekly email bulletin where we keep you up to date on events that are coming up at the temple. One of the things that we offer periodically is an introductory meditation course, and this runs for 5 consecutive Thursday evenings. In the introductory meditation course, you learn things ranging from different postures for meditation to the basics of Zen. And is that still beginning this Thursday?
There is a Thursday's class will be conducted on Zoom, and it will be offered by our Dharma teacher, Jagwa, Kelly Davenport, for 4 Thursday evenings, 7 to 8:30 p.m. This allows people from Chicago and other locations to join as well.
Okay, so there's a sign-up sheet on the table in the entrance hall if you're interested in that, and you can connect with people from Chicago. And then we also offer yoga classes here at the temple, and the yoga classes run for 6 consecutive Tuesday evenings from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And I believe that's still beginning November 2nd.
It's ongoing. You can drop in anytime, $12 for a drop-in or $60 for 5 weeks.
Okay, so that's ongoing, and there's a sign-up sheet over there also. And then groups meeting today, I believe Recovery Dharma.
Recovery Dharma will be meeting after services in what I would call the entranceway, but more cultured people call the foyer.
Okay. Recovery Dharma in the foyer over here. And any other groups meeting today? Okay, and the practice period, for those of you that are involved in the practice period, we're studying the Sin Ming, which is an ancient Buddhist poem. And so we'll be meeting at noon. And I believe the weather is nice that we'll be meeting underneath the canopy over there. And the temple is supported entirely by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl at the door here for monetary donations. If you'd like to donate your time, there is a sign-up sheet where you can be on a list to volunteer. Everything from helping in the garden to shoveling snow as needed and things like that. And then we look forward to seeing you here at the temple.
Could we talk about Sangha Workday?
Oh, yeah.
Hayun,
Oh,
please.
yeah, okay. All right, can we donate online as well?
Yes, by going to Zen Buddhist Temple website, zenbuddhisttemple.org. There's opportunities to donate online as well.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I see a few of you here who were here yesterday. We have a very special day planned for next Saturday. We are going to be doing an all Sangha workday where we all come together at 10 a.m. or you can come later. You don't have to come the whole time until about 4 or 5. And we're going to have a temple lunch. We're going to serve a vegetarian lunch here outside on the grounds. It's supposed to be nice weather. The Herculean task that we have to get done is we have to finish sanding, scraping, and then finishing our beautiful cedar fence outside. So we thought it would be a wonderful opportunity for everyone just to get a paintbrush and go at it. So it starts here next Saturday, at 10 a.m. There's parking on the street. It isn't home game next Saturday, so also we'll try to make as much room as we can in here for cars to park if we can't find a spot on the street. Generally, earlier in the day, Woodlawn is pretty good, the street out here. But so anyway, we invite you to come. If you have any questions, you can please ask me about it afterwards because I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do something together. It's almost like an old-fashioned barn racing or something. We have to paint the fence together. So please come.
And I'll just conclude with encouraging, if you're interested in taking up some temple residency for a period of time, or interested in some of our training courses or retreats, please speak with us. Usually about 12 people can live at the temple, and we take people for as little as a couple of nights to a week, up to 6 months, and then we see what their commitment could be after that. So if this is of interest to you, please let us know, and we can speak further about it. Right, so we'll stand to do 3 bows, and then greet each other at the door, and then perhaps stepping out with each other to have a little socializing.
And if it's possible, if we could have 3 volunteers to help us clear the room for a yoga class, which will be happening next in this room.
Okay, so let's let's bring your focus as almost in this situation as if you were carrying a big basin of water. And it's a kind of focus that we can learn to take everywhere in our life, to be fully present and aware. So please make your way.
Yeah, sure. The 3 of you who have volunteered, please stay